Hello,
Mia,
hello.
and today we're diving deep into a topic that
Just
touches
one
the heart of
second.
every parent and guardian: God's promises for our children. Join me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Sledge here with my little brother, Sweet Lips, the
Hello,
sweetest
everyone.
lips in the
Thanks
West.
for joining us. On today's show, we're going to talk about sweet lips. No. Just joking.
You guys can't see Sweet Lips
Hope
over
you're all
here,
doing fine.
but Sweet
Healthy
Lips is here.
family, healthy hearts. God bless you all. Thanks for joining us today. Now, the topic is, if my eyes look kind of greenish, because they really are. So, but, don't worry, all you loved ones out there,
Guys, do you hear this mess on this other
it's so cool.
end?
But anyway,
Do you
the
hear
sister is
the
going to
mess?
give what? I'm just giving them some, showing them some love here.
Do you hear the mess?
Let them know they see these pretty eyes. This is me. This
Oh
is
my
me.
goodness. How are you all doing? Because that little brother of mine is not going to worry me. He is not going to worry me today. And if you want to talk about him, call him. No. Well,
Hey,
call in,
see,
call in.
I'm blessed with the joy of waking up this morning. So the Lord said, hey, you go on out there, sweet lips, and bless them with the words that I gave you last night in your dream. And the word is, y'all should be glad to have me. This is the man, Sweet Lips itself. Oh, Candy Man.
I am
And not
pinning
the
what
ugly
needs
Candy
to
Man
be
in the mirror.
pinned.
The sweet Candy Man.
And
I'm the Candy Man from the Candy Land.
guys, you can hear
If
my
you got
brother.
bitter taste in
You
your
can hear
mouth,
him.
you just call Sweet Lips, and I give you all the sugar you need. These words are sweet. See? Look at that. Look at that. Just bless you. See? Look at that.
Oh my goodness. Hey, look, it is what it is, okay? And whatever my little brother say, it goes, okay? Take what you can take and leave the rest.
I told you a million times, and I say it again. You got to have a sense of humor. You got to smile. Life is short. Enjoy.
And that's for
Get
sure.
your smile on. Get your
That's
sense
for
of humor
sure.
on.
Life is short. Enjoy it while you can. Enjoy us
Yep.
while you can. Enjoy Sweet Lips.
That's right. You know what I mean?
It took a lot of time and effort for us to get up and show up. We only been sitting here 30, 40 minutes. But hey, let me tell you what today's topic is. So some of you see baby is cold outside, and the other ones see keep on knocking, but you can't come in. Hey, now look, sometimes we speak about what is going on around the globe, around the map, and this here subject, this here topic today, we are talking about punishment. So it still has to do with children and the village for the children and how the village came to save these children. Okay. Now, I don't know how many of you heard that there's a couple, a husband and wife. I don't know what the children have done. So let's just say allegedly. I don't know. But this is what I do know, according to the social media streets, according to the people where the children live. The children has been sleeping outside since July. And I believe maybe last week, social services stepped in to have a family member take these two boys in. One was 15 and the other one was 12. Again, I don't know what a child could have possibly done, that this is a whole new meaning to my way or the highway. This is a whole new meaning to all I really have to do is keep a roof over your head and some food in your stomach. Obviously, the roof over the head does not matter anymore. And I say that because social services did receive a phone call. But yet these children still remain outside, sleeping outside. The bed was their little blankets and some of their clothing sitting outside with them. Now, to me, sometimes something can be a little excessive. Like, what did these children do that they deserve to sleep outside from July up until a week ago? And I believe it's either Detroit or Chicago, so it's cold out there. What? There's no explanation for that type of behavior. That is abuse. Oh, here goes Sweet Lips.
No, sweet. We got to get in on here. Okay, we don't know allegedly what the situation may be, but sometimes on the outside looking in, it could be a situation where a parent is doing some hard teaching and fed up with certain things. Because see, here's one thing we always assume. We always assume kids, anyone that's 15, 12, and when you reach a certain age, we always assume like, oh, they just so sweet. There'll be no reason. Let me tell you something. It comes to a point where you look at a child, and no matter what the situation may be, and you do your hardest to raise that child, put a roof over their head, and if that child is giving you all these problems outside the home, no matter what you doing and you working hard to make it right for them, and then they seem like they are so ungrateful, and you putting your parents through all this. Hey, maybe it's a teaching moment. They say, hey, you know what? And then they say like, and you appreciate it. Let me tell you something. Ungrateful. You can sleep in the backyard. You can go home, put your bed back there. See, it's one thing when you say you can sleep in the backyard. You still outside the home. It's a different thing when the child is out on the street. The child was in the backyard, probably still come in, probably use the bathroom, probably still eat or whatever. So we don't know what the situation. And that's the problem. We always ready. And I'm just gonna say this, Sweet Lips opinion. We always ready to jump on the parent, but we don't understand what the situation is in that situation or in that household. Because these days, the way that these kids are being raised and they see the social, they act like they entitled. Like no matter what I do or what I put you through, you got to deal with it because you my parents. I don't care if you got to leave work early. I don't care if every time you turn around they calling your job and you got to come home because I'm up here messing up in the street or I was in school. No, come on. There's got to be a situation. These things don't happen for no reason.
Let me
There's
tell
got to
you
be
what I just truly believe, listening to what you said. If you had your kids sleeping in the backyard, no one can see that these kids are sleeping outside. But when you have your kids sleeping on the front porch, people walking up the street and down the street and people across the street are aware that your children have been outside since July. But then here's what I don't agree in. It's because if you have to teach your child, your 12 and your 15-year-old, a lesson, let me see, July, August, September, October, November, December, there's no way that it took you 6 months to teach these children a lesson. Whatever happened to if I apologize, then give me that chance to show that whatever lesson you was trying to instill in me, I got it now. To put me outside and you have our neighbors coming up to me and my little brother saying, are you hungry? Is there something I can get for you? Do you want to come into my home? And these kids still refused.
Okay, let me say this. Now, if the kids refuse to go into other people's home, like I said, we don't know what the situation, because here's the thing within society. We have a tendency of pointing fingers at parents. We have a tendency of, and this way that we have a tendency of trying to tell somebody how to raise their kids, or you should probably do it. We don't know what goes on in that house. And then here's the thing: you may be right. In all those months, maybe within that period of time, maybe it's been a in and out thing. Maybe, hey, maybe I learned. Hey, come on in this that. Maybe something else happened again. You back out, or maybe the kids choose to probably teach the parents a lesson and be like, oh, well, I ain't got to live in your home, and go sleep out on the porch. We don't know. We don't. And then here's the thing. We always talk about tough love. The problem sometimes with some of these kids that don't have tough love, those are the ones that's out there robbing, stealing, killing, and doing all these things. And meanwhile, they still living with the parents. But then you could blame the parents. Because, hey, it all depends. Like I said, I don't know. We don't know. We need a little more context, but this is our opinion. But things happen for a reason. I'm pretty sure no parent just go and just throw their kids outside the door. Maybe back in the day we grew up, but go and throw their kids outside the door for no reason. There's got to be a reason why things happen the way they happen. And then here's the thing, because if we pass judgment and then we find out what the reason is, and it has to do with, okay, the kids and the parents, certain things, situation. The first thing we be like, oh, well, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. That's it. Because you don't know.
Right, we don't know, but I just disagree with sitting your child outside.
But we don't know if they sat them outside. So maybe the kids decided to teach the parents a lesson.
Let me tell you something. There's no way, as a parent, that when I say come in, that you're going to sit outside, because if you choose to be outside my door, for sure, you're not going to sleep in front of my door, because number one, that brings a lot of distraction.
Yes,
number
I
two,
agree with you. It does.
Wait, but number
us.
two, as
Not
a
every parent is
parent,
the same. You got some of these kids today. Come on, we keep it real. We got some of these kids today that's actually running the parents. Come on, we see it all the time. All the time.
No. And then whatever was going on for the children, most children, 15 and 12, and you can tell, and this is just my conclusion, the kids could not possibly be that bad, because at 15 and 12, they would have went to school and started saying, hey, we got put out. You know what I mean? Deanne, where are you from? I'm from New York. Hi, Ransom, short boys, hello. But I just don't
You don't think these kids are old enough, 15 and 12, old enough to actually go to a police station, complain about their parents, go to school, complain?
To me, that's some type of fear. Why would you? I just see a lot
if the
of
situation's
control.
that bad, I think kids are old enough to speak up. It's not like they're 5 or 6. They're 15 and 12. They old enough to speak up.
They did speak up. When people were offering them a roof over their heads, they were like, no. But the fact that your kids are outside.
No, then the situation must not be that bad. If they said no, if it was that bad, who wouldn't accept going indoors with the help that a neighbor's giving you? Evidently, there's something else more there than meets the eye that we just don't understand and don't know.
There is something else there that's meeting the eye. Something is wrong with these parents. Now, here's the kicker to me. Here's the kicker. The father was a pastor. And as a pastor, well, let me just say it. The father was a pastor. So I read. So let me just say allegedly. Okay. The father is a pastor. Now, as the pastor, you are taught forgiveness. You are taught to have patience.
Look,
If CPS came to that door more than once, first of all, I don't understand why nobody did not leave out in cuffs. That's just my opinion.
I say it again. I agree with you there, but here's the thing. No one actually got arrested. No one left out in cuffs. It took a long time for Child Protective Service to keep coming back and forth. If that is the case with all these things going on, there's more to meet the eye than we know. And being a pastor, let me tell you these days, that right now ain't worth 2 nickels. Just because you a pastor and your father's the preacher and all that, don't mean that your household is running smooth. We all know this.
And that's what makes it even
and
worse.
Sometimes most of these people that actually are in church and grew up in church, sometimes, I'm going to say it, sometimes, I ain't going to say no 98%, I'm going to say sometimes, this is Sweet Lips' own opinion, sometimes these pastors can't even control their own household. So half the time when they sitting in church, you don't see the wife there, you don't see the kids there, but they're telling everybody else to bring the family here. Well, where's yours at? So we don't know. They say, come on now. Hey,
but for
religion ain't what it once was before, back in the day. Religion is different now. Because now, just because you're a pastor, people don't know who to believe. You could be a pastor, you could be out there getting all the money in the world, but you ain't really preaching nothing. How about your household? It's all broken down. Where your kids? Out there sticking somebody up? I mean, come on now. Hey, right. I'm just Sweet Lips telling it like it is.
Right. And I agree there. But what I don't agree with is, to me, it seemed like a lot of power and a lot of control. And you should have some type of control over your children, not to the extent that, and I'm just saying from my point of view, the kids knew that if I did not go home, if I did not go to school and come back in front of this porch, probably had to wait for a meal to be, I don't know, put outside. I don't know if they got to come in, and you better not accept anything from anyone. That is a lot of mind control. And then, but hold on, and then for a woman, a mother, to allow your kids to be outside. Let me tell you something. There's going to be no man that would have me looking out the door in the dead of winter while my kids are sleeping on a pile of blankets outside. Because if my kids are outside, then either I'm going to be outside or you're going to be outside and they're going to be inside, because at some point you have to protect your children. You have to protect. Sometimes we tend to go overboard with these punishments.
I agree 100% about going overboard with punishment. I agree about, certain things when it comes. All that you said, I agree with. Here's the other side that I'm saying. We have our opinion.
Right.
Our opinions. We don't know what's really going on. We only assume this and that. But when we give our opinions, and I'm telling this to our listeners, we know there's always another side. And the one thing that we don't want to do and we don't want to assume, we do not want to ever tell somebody how to raise their kids, run their household. We only can go off of what we assume things may be. It may be bad, it may be good, because I feel this way. In today's world, now hear me now, we have too much finger pointing and always trying to tell someone how to run their life, their household, and what they should do. No, we only give our opinion because we don't know what's going on in somebody else's mind. So we don't know in this situation alone if the parents alone may have some mental issues that they're going through. It could be a whole slot of things. But I just say, from what allegedly the sister is saying, I go with my opinion is something must be wrong somewhere, because if child welfare have not taken these kids and they're old enough to speak for themselves,
right?
If police officers not have got involved, there is something more going on, and it may not be nothing that we assume it is. It may not be nothing about control or the parents. It may be something that maybe that's the way they run things in their household. Maybe the kids, we don't know, but we cannot always assume that the parents is always wrong. These are beautiful kids and these kids and it's that. Let me tell you something. In today's world, you get kids that are doing just right. And then you get kids, and we as parents, we see it. Kids that age out here committing more crimes than someone in their 40s and 50s. And the first week, well, where's the parents? Well, where's the parents? Maybe the parents got fed up. Maybe the parents is just, hey, I just can't do it no more.
As a parent, and I'm just speaking as a parent, if I feel that I'm fed up with my child's behavior, as a parent, it would be my duty to find a place, a safe place for my child to be. And sleeping outside my front porch on a stack of blankets would not be my idea of being a good parent.
You know what? And see, that's the thing about it. You as a parent, this is what you would do. And that's what I'm saying. Everybody's now, I'll say it again. And we have to understand this. When these kids are old enough to say yes, no, and do, hey, look, come on now. We see kids that age, and I'll say it again, out here running the parents, cussing out grown folks in front of their parents. So we don't know what the situation is.
Whatever the situation is,
I
they
refuse to
belong
believe
outside.
that any kid 15 years old or 12 will actually be that much afraid when someone come up to offer help, when Child Protective Service, because here's the thing, if Child Protective Service, that's their job, see that something here and they talk to these kids, and no matter what they say, boom, I'm taking the kids. But let's be real here. You cannot make a 15 or a 12-year-old do anything in today's world because they know they got rights. If they say no, no is no. I ain't going nowhere. What we gonna say if the parents snatch them by the collar and be like, oh, why they dragging that kid that way? Oh, because they taking that kid where they said they ain't gonna go. Next thing you know, we telling that parent how wrong they for doing that. You can't win.
Let me just say that it does come a point where sometimes you could just look at the situation a little bit and say and know, like, if a child is in a abusive household, and when I say abusive, need be verbally or need be physical abuse, which is being put on the parent and the mother. The mother, you know what I mean? Oh, you know, your father said you got to go, so you got to go. When that situation arises, it's so much mind and brain control. Like, you know what you want to do, but you're so in fear of whoever it is that's controlling that household that you know, oh, it's going to be worse if I don't go to school. Like, you better get up and get ready for school. And when school is out, you better be here by X amount of time. By, you know, school out 3, you better be here by 3:30, you know, all kinds of madness. A child that is in fear will not do anything to really help themselves because that control is that great. I agree. It is mind control. And I agree but like I said, for any woman to look at something that you have carried for 9 months and say, if you cannot abide by my rules, it's up to me, because I had you, to find a safe place for you. And sleeping outside in the dead of winter and people coming up to my door asking me, is everything all right? And asking my children, is everything all right? I will feel a certain type of way as a woman, as a mother.
And you know what? I agree. But what I'm saying is, if we're saying, and see, first of all, honestly, I would love to know where these people live at, what state they're from, whatever the case. Because let's keep it
It
real.
was Detroit.
When you got child protective service, they will snatch your kid out the house. So 'cause that's their job. So ain't about what the mama say, ain't about what the kids say. If they see something going wrong, their job is no matter what, the kid's gone. They gone, and we just go to court and we said they gone. No, if no, and I'm just saying that haven't happened in this case. Something's wrong.
But let me tell you what is wrong, because how many cases have we seen that social service CPS allow those kids to fall through the cracks, because every time you go to the door, the parents claiming, oh, no, next time, no, this and no, that. So a lot of times, I'm not going to even say that CPS, oh, they're there and they're going to remove the child. No, a lot of times they're not, because really they have no place to put their child. And then they always say, we try to keep the family together and we're going to give the parents a chance to get it right. And hold on. And then when they go into that door and, Pastor so-and-so start ministering to them about what the Lord told him, a lot of times they will fall back, because when they look at the child still look healthy. The child, there's clothing provided, and there's no telling what lie was told, until it got to the point that enough people continued to complain about it, until it was Child Protective Services that finally found someone in the family, a relative, to take the kids in.
Well, I assume, and it's just me, and those out there that's listening to us, we appreciate you listening, and maybe you get help here. But I remember maybe 5-6 years ago, the laws has changed. Ever since that would happen with that child, for the situation you're talking about, the laws has changed and got more strict now. Now it's no more like, okay, if they see something, the laws have changed so that you take the child out the home. That's your main job. We sort it out later. And so I don't understand how that may be still going on when the laws got stricter now for situations like that. It's now, will you take the child out the home? And that's it, because now child protective services now are at fault if they do not. So if that's not happening, I still say there's more to meet the eye here in this situation. We don't know what it is. We don't know why, because I don't think there ain't no pastor in the world that can do all that much talking in the world. And I believe, to me, now Sweet Lips may be wrong, that I don't think no child protective service will actually risk their job. That I'm going to leave this child here when I know what the situation is.
They risk their
I'm
jobs
not
all
doing
the
that.
time.
You ain't going to come back and sue me, because I know the laws has changed. I have to take this child out of this home. And if you feel that I'm wrong, then you have your time in court and we can sort it out that way. Now, if that's not happening, I'm going to say it again. I don't know what the situation is if that never, ever happened in this situation. There's more to meet the eye in this situation. Now, for anyone else, I don't care where you're from. We all know if it's a different situation, they snatching your kid out your house. I don't care for what you say, the kid's gone. And they going to say, see you in court. And now when we sort it out, then that's fine.
And they finally said, we're removing these children. We found a family, your family members, to take them in. And like I said, for them to finally remove those kids from the front porch, it had to be something that, CPS was saying, we're going to lock you up, because these kids cannot continue to stay outside. We're getting all these phone calls. Police is involved, because the police was involved. And now they were probably threatening to take those kids and put them into foster care. because
She
sometimes,
did that from the jump.
right, but see, that's what I'm saying. We have all these agencies, and we say, oh well, they're there to protect the children or whatever the case may be. A lot of times, by the time these agencies make a move, either you are at a gravesite crying, or you're standing in a hospital with a candle with a bedside visual, because they just
Well, you got to
don't
remember too.
move quick enough.
And now these agencies also too. So let's get, see, that's why we're here for you. We're here to get y'all to both sides. So Sweet Lips gonna get other sides. A lot of these agencies too, like I said, we're living in a world where things is different. A lot of these agencies do mess up. Let's talk about many years ago when they took a child and put a child in foster care, and the child died in foster
Well,
care
say
from
I'm
the
live
foster
because
care parent.
just say I'm live because Facebook be sensitive with their words.
Who?
Say I'm live because sometime Facebook be sensitive.
Well,
The
okay,
algorithm be sensitive to words.
let's just say it this way. Agencies do mess up. So they're not perfect. They're not. So that's the world we live in.
But it's not up to the agency. It's up to the parent. It's up to you as a
Well,
parent
I'm
to
talking about as
protect
an
your
agency,
child.
they go to that parent and they take that kid out of the home and this is that. And sometimes they get it right and sometimes they don't.
Well, what I don't understand is that Pastor so-and-so, why you're in church preaching forgiveness and having patience and being kind and being loving. Your kids are outside and you have people knocking on your door saying, is there something that I can do? But see, now that takes us back to this village that Sweet Lips and I have been talking about, how it takes a village to raise a child. Because what I do like about the neighborhood, the people in the area, was that they were coming up to the children saying, do you need something to eat? Do you want to come in, can I just take you in and let you get warm? Do you need a meal? You know what I mean? It's not like the people in that area turned a blind eye, like, well, they put their kid outside to sleep and, that's their business and, we don't have nothing to do with that. No, they were calling the authorities over and over and over. And so when it's all said and done, they had to take it further, or they all got together to threaten some type of action for the authorities, me be the police or the CPS people, step in and say, enough is enough. Or I'm just thinking worst case scenario, and this is just my thoughts. I didn't read this happen. I'm just giving you my point of view. That, they just knocked on the door. Now, I'm going to be the people. Sir, ma'am, we've been here 6 or 7 times or more. And you keep telling us the same story. And we keep getting these calls that your 2 children are sleeping outside. And it's cold out here. Now, I am going to now remove them because they've been outside more than 4 or 5 months. And I can no longer take your word. So either you're going to provide me with a family member, because we're going to try to keep them with family first. So you're going to provide me with a family member's name and number, or I am going to take these kids, put them in a foster care. You will now go through the court system to get these children back. Now, the parent had to say, well, you know what? Well, I'm gonna just call my sister and see if she can take them because because I asked them to clean up and they never did clean up, and I told them that I was gonna kick them out for a year. Something had to happen. The threat had to be so bad. Either they were served with papers, or a family member came through and said, hey, we've been asking you to allow us to take them, and you keep saying no. When you go against family, family's not going to turn, they're not going to turn, we're not going to turn on each other right away. But at some point, someone, thank you, Jesus, for whomever it was in that family that said, enough is enough. No, give me my nephews. Give me my nephews. Because for someone to suddenly make a move, their backs had to be against the wall. And regardless of what it is that those kids could have possibly done, you find the right shelter. You find the right care for your children. And to embarrass them to the point that their friends and the community around them are walking by their homes, looking at them sleep. Imagine you're laying on the porch under a blanket trying to keep warm, and all you see is people standing there at the fence. Are you okay? Do you need an extra blanket? Do you want to just come in and, come in my house and sleep, and then I'll just bring you back out here in the morning? Do you know the mental effects that would have on your child? Do you know what that child is going through to know mom and dad is in this house sleep and we're outside because why again? Like, how am I going to learn from my mistakes when you're not even giving me a second chance? And these are two boys. So just imagine how they are going to process this if they ever become parents. Either they repeat that same ugly cycle, or they become abusers, or they become withdrawn, because now everybody knows. So no matter where you go, people pointing the finger, oh yeah, that was him, that was Keegan over there, yeah, he was the one that, the mother and father put him out and they can't go in their house and they have to sleep on the porch. Imagine what those kids was going through at school. Everybody in the neighborhood knew. They could have been just front side shows. Oh no, you think I'm playing? No, come out here, come through at 10 o'clock. They'll be right outside sleeping. So you still not taking accountability of the effect of your actions on your child. Now suppose that child becomes so angry, and that's the angry child that's going to go out there and maybe rob somebody because that child is so angry. Somebody do something to that child knows nothing about forgiveness because he wasn't taught forgiveness. So what you do as a parent affects your child. And if your parents put you out and made you sleep on the front porch where people just coming by like you some most sideshow circus freak pointing at you, and now here you are doing it to your child, and you're a pastor and you preach forgiveness and you preach how to break generational curses, but here your kids are being mocked and made fun of. Like, thank God whatever they instilled in their children, that they were strong enough not to do self-harm to themselves. So again, your actions, it's the effect of your child. How you treat them is how they treat others. You don't show them forgiveness, they do not show others forgiveness. If you did this in the midst of anger and rage, they will turn around and have that same anger and rage on someone else.
Or maybe, through all that, maybe these kids are blessed and they grow up to probably be better than the parents. They'll probably learn that I don't want to do what my parents did to me, so I would never do that. That can happen.
That can happen.
There's
also.
Plenty of kids out there also that actually go a whole different route.
Right.
They turn out just fine. They do better than their parents have done. They do not do what their parents done. So it's like there's, it happens. But
right.
It's just all depends on how their mindset is. Because you're right. Some can withdraw. And some can say, you know what? I'm going to be better than that. You know me? I'm tougher than that. So when I get older, I'm going to be better than what y'all did. And,
right.
and it can turn out just fine for them.
Right. But what I'm saying is, Why damage your child? Why damage them? Why damage them? So they didn't clean up their room. Oh, they were talking back to me. You know, some behavior, you got to pick and, like I always say, you have to pick and choose your battle. And if every little thing that your child say and do offends you, then that means you need to help. Because guess what? To me, now those kids should be in counseling.
Well. Let Sweet Lips just say. Pick and choose your battles true. And coming from, I'm a parent. Now let me tell you, you can say anything you want. I believe in freedom of speech. You can do this, do that, okay. One thing I don't believe in is disrespect. And two, you ain't talking back to me. I ain't having that. Because see, what I will do is I will give you the opportunity to correct what comes out your mouth. Because see,
Right.
let's believe in fairness. The fairness is, are you sure about what you're saying? Do you know who you're talking to? I give you a minute to just process that. Now, if you process it and you correct yourself, then we good and we can sit down and then we have a conversation, even though the conversation gonna go my way. You know what I mean? Because my house, my rules. But I give you a chance to correct yourself. Now, if you want to repeat the same thing, we got a problem. Because see, I believe in this way. What you allow your kids to do to you, they will do to others out in the street. If you allow your kids to disrespect you, which make you think they're not going to disrespect grandma, teacher, or anybody else. So there's ways to handle things. I'm just saying.
Right, but I don't
I'm
think
just
that, you know, still, I'm on the fence about that, because how can you help your child to navigate in this world if all you're doing is trying to come from a place of control, control, control,
See,
control.
sister slash whole lot. Let Sweet Lips rewind that back. I didn't say control.
You
I
said, well, if you said
give
my
you
way or the highway
wait.
because it's my way.
Hey, let me tell you. But I said, give you a chance to take a moment and realize what you're saying.
Right.
See, that's a pause there. Give you a chance, and then I say, do you realize what you're saying and who you're talking to? See, that's giving them a chance to correct themselves. Now, when I say my way or the highway, all those out there, our age, beyond, no. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a pastor's child or whoever the case may be. Let's keep it real here. This is what we do. To the
Get
point.
to the point.
The point is when you under your parents' roof, it's always their way. This is you under their roof. When they say, hey, look, it ain't about disrespect. Ain't because I'm the parent, I'm right all the time. No, I am the parent, and I am here to correct right and wrong. And if I'm wrong as a parent, then you need to admit that you're wrong. And let me tell you, Sweet Lips don't have a problem with that. But
Right.
no one runs your household but you and your wife. The kids are the ones that you're supposed to let them know, hey, these are the rules. Now, you have an opinion? Express it. We're willing to listen. Now, you want this and that? We're willing to listen to that. But the disrespect is what we will not have. Now, everybody has the right to voice an opinion. You should allow your child to voice an opinion, but voice it in a respectful way. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's in a respectful way. Don't walk in here and talk to me like I'm your friend Tony Bob out in the street. We ain't having that.
Right.
In a respectful way, we good. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But right.
Ain't about I'm the parent. One thing, hold on, let me say this, sis. One thing, I'm gonna tell you something, and I do not believe it. Just because I am the parent. Don't make me right all the time. And I'm going to preach something.
But are you
here,
going to
because
admit when
even-
you're wrong?
I don't have a problem admitting when I'm wrong. I always tell my kids, see, when you become adults, even before you become adults, it's about respect. I respect you, respect me.
Right.
I believe in when you cross the line with the disrespect, we got a problem.
Right.
That's all. It's all about because some parents don't know how to respect their kid. They figure you're right because you the child, I'm the boss. No. I may be the head honcho, but you have an opinion. I want to listen to your opinion. I wanted to listen to what you got to say.
Right.
Because that's what a parent, you're supposed to have that even kill as a parent. Hey, you know what? Because we all been kids at times. And there's times when we grew up, our parents would listen to 2 words we said.
Right.
But now, as you have kids, you be like, okay, I want to listen to your opinion. No problem. But Sweet Lips was a little different. I listened. But there was times when the candy cane had to break. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I'm keeping it real here for you people. You know how Sweet Lips do. Y'all know how Sweet Lips do. I keep it real for you. The candy cane sometimes got to break.
As a
That's
mother,
what I'm saying.
even as a father, but to me, it sounds like the father was holding all the cards. The father was the authoritative figure here. And now, if it's the mother that was putting her kids out and the father just had to go along with his wife, but they said the father was the pastor, I just don't understand how.
Well, you got some women that do run men. You got some
No,
that
no,
hate
I said, I would be surprised, but it is your job, it is your duty to protect your child. And if you feel that there's a problem, and I just can't, you know what I mean? I'm trying to process this, but I cannot process this. You're in the house and you're going at it with your father, and now he say he wants you to leave. I get that. But then you find a place for your kids. Every complaint and every neighbor that was interviewed said those kids been outside since July. And they
Let me tell
just
you
found a place for them a week ago. Let me tell you, there is nothing that my child can say or do to me that I would put them out without finding a proper place for them to be.
That's because,
But
sister,
how would
you
even
are a good
allow it
sister.
to get
You
to
have a
that
good
point?
heart. That's just how you do. But we know out here, some parents are totally different, and the views is very short. Because if you stand there and you say to your parent, matter of fact, let me just put it this way, sis. Let me put it this way. You have the opposite. You have mothers that are more domineering and run the household more than fathers. You got mothers that run the father, the kids, they're the boss. They're the boss. Yeah, we seen it. Let's come on the side like it's all you just meant. But I'm just saying, when you say there's no way that you can actually, as a parent, see to put your kid out without finding some place for your kid to go.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you a way. See, that's why you got Sweet Lips here. Here you go. Here you go.
All right, guys, y'all don't see Sweet Lips.
If you have a child that's
Right.
so disrespectful, and not even disrespectful, if you have a child that's willing to stand there and talk about he gonna put hands on you, Lord, my well, you know what? I'm gonna find a place for you to go because you can't stand here and threaten me. Yeah, I'm gonna find a place for you to go. Because as you stand here and think about you're gonna put hands on me, when I finish putting out your lights, the ambulance will be right there at the door. So I got a bed for you and everything else.
Right, but-
There's certain things that you cannot take from. Let's not act like these kids out here just be all holier than thou. Some of them are very that. Are they supposed to sit back and take that? No way.
I don't think, but when it comes down to it, even if that child was disrespectful or whatever, let's say this.
I didn't say disrespectful.
No,
sis.
I'm
I
just
said
saying,
put
or
hands on their
threatening.
parents.
No, but what I'm saying is that that behavior did not happen overnight.
You know what?
You
It did. You're
seen
right.
it coming a mile
it-
away. So
didn't.
why didn't you get counseling? Did you have that child diagnosed to see if there's something wrong with that child? Like,
Sis.
why? Like, no, let
Sis.
me just say, that is
Because
where
some
we are
people
coming in as,
don't have, some people don't have that. They don't have the money. They don't have the funds. They don't have they doing all that. They just don't
you
got
find,
it.
but
They
that's
don't
what I'm
have
saying.
that.
But if you never put forth any initiative to seek some type of help for your child, and now all of a sudden it's your end result is get out.
We're freezing up.
Then you-
Hold up. We're freezing up because a lot of parts we missed
I
what you
know,
said
no,
because we've been going in and out
we've
freezing up.
been freezing for, going in and out for a minute. I can't help that. We're just going through our own little weather. We're finally getting our winter weather here, winds and all. But it's your job as a parent to get your child the proper help. There are different agencies that you can go through if you don't have, the right type of insurance. But we cannot keep sitting there trying to push this blame on, oh, well, I didn't have the insurance, but yet you see something is off about your child. And if you know something is off about you, I have said this before, if you have gone through any type of physical, mental, or any type of sexual abuse, before you push a child out, you need to get counseling. You need healing. Because when you don't do that, what happens? You just continue to repeat that cycle. You continue to repeat the cycle. So it is up to you as the parent to get your child the proper care. It is up to you as a parent to stand there and be the voice for your child. If one parent is doing wrong, you have to speak up. You can't just sit there and turn a blind eye and be like, oh, I'm gonna stand by my man, or I'm gonna stand by my woman. And that's just a child. They just do what we say. No. That is still a form of abuse. And I and my eyes will always see that as abuse. Now, let me give you an example. And this here happened when my son was, I think he was like 12 or so, 12 or 13. I want to say 12. He came home from school one day and I said to him, when you're done with your homework, get something to eat, then bring the garbage cans in. Listen to what I'm saying. When you're done with your homework, after you get something to eat, bring the garbage cans in. His reply was, why do I have to bring the garbage cans in when you was home all day? So of course, I was just looking in shock, like, what did he just say? I didn't understand. Like, he went on like he just came in from school and I said, bring the garbage cans in. Well, I mean, if I did, well, you're just bringing the garbage cans in. But no, he wanted to know if I was home all day, why didn't I bring the garbage cans in? And so I said, because I asked you to do it. And he said something smart out of his mouth. And my reply was, you don't have to bring the garbage cans in if you don't want to. That's what I said. You do not have to bring the garbage cans in if you do not want to. But if you don't bring those garbage cans in, then you would have to get out. That was the wrong way to handle it. And I shouldn't have said, well, you got to get out because you didn't bring the garbage can. But that is what I said. And he said, okay, well, I'll just get out. So, okay. Go around the corner to your sister's house, and then that's where you'll stay. And so he walked around the corner to his sister's house, and that is where he stayed. See, I didn't say get out and I don't know where you're going. I did not say, go stay on the front porch because I'm mad. I said, I made sure that he had a place to go to, and I know who I sent him to, he would be safe. But see, when he got to his sister's house, and I said to my daughter the reason why I told him to get out, by the time she was done chewing him out, he came home and the garbage can was still out there. And he brought the garbage can in, and then he went to his room. See, it was for me to provide a place for him because he felt that he did not have to listen to my rules. I didn't just put him out on the street and say, you know what, get out my house. I don't know where you're going to eat, how you're going to get there, or anything else. And that is why I said it is up to the parent to provide a place. Because guess what? When it's all said and done, if something happens to that child, you're still responsible for your child. And this is where I said, thank God the people there, the village that I've been preaching on, that it takes a village to raise a child. The village, the people, the neighbors in that community that was concerned for these two children, the welfare of these two children. If it was not for that village to come together and lean on CPS and lean on the police and saying it is cold outside and it is not right, then those kids would still be outside. So when you are the parent, your child, as long as that child is under the age of 18, it is still your responsibility. And regardless of who's in control, you have to be the voice for your child. Because I am not going to be in the bed with no man and my kids are sleeping outside. And like I said, it has to be a thing of someone is the dominant one, laying down the rules. I said this and I said that, and because there's just a lot of old school ways. People just still in the old school way. I'm the man, I go out and work, and so it's my way or the highway, or they can get out or you all can get out. Well, hell, if that's the options that you are giving, then it's time for all of you to get out. Because you will not remain in this house under all this heat with a nice comfy bed and you still hold a remote in your hands and my children are sleeping outside. No way it's going to happen. No way it should happen. Your children are your responsibility. Your children are your responsibility. And so, again, as I said, how you treat your child is how they will treat others. And from the way these neighbors described them, they were well-mannered children. They were well-mannered children. 12 and 15, you are still responsible for them. You are still responsible for them. So no matter what it is, you cannot teach your child how to forgive someone when you did not give them that opportunity to prove whatever it is that you were asking of them, that they got the message, they understand what they did wrong, and so now everyone is at peace. You have to be heartless, to me, to sit there in dead of winter and say to your child, sleep outside still, sleep outside. Like there's no, my fear, and if I'm not mistaken, Detroit was the location. Detroit, New York, Cleveland, Oakland, LA. My child is not sleeping outside. There are too many crazies out there. There's just too many crazy people out there. Anyone could have came up on that porch and unlived my children. Anyone could have came up on that porch and just really snatched them up, and I never know where they were, what happened to them. And the next thing I know, I get a call and I'm crying over their bodies, but yet I never came in and, went and said, you know what, you made a mistake, and I understand, let's just erase this and let's start all over again. Your child is your responsibility. That is your responsibility. And if your child was disrespectful to you at 8, 9, 10, and 11, and 12, and you have done nothing about it, and then all of a sudden 15, you at your breaking point, the corrections should have been made way back then. That's when you should have made those corrections. There is no way that you should have been standing for any type of disrespect.
I agree.
And that's why I always say, the situation didn't just happen then.
No.
It was something that was building up.
Oh, yeah.
And why didn't you find ways to, really get everyone into counsel? I don't know why people are against it. To me, counseling work, getting that extra help work. You as a parent, because you decided to bring these children into the world, mean you need to go that extra mile. It's for you to go that extra mile. You lead by example. And if you're telling me the right thing to do is allow someone else to mistreat me, then I'm going to repeat that same cycle. Because now I think like this is the way to be. This is what we do. So, I'm going to do this to my kid too. I'm going to go out there, and if somebody do something to me and they say sorry, I'm going to have to accept that sorry. We have to be careful on how we treat our babies that did not ask to be brought into this world. But we're going to continue the next time. We're going to continue to read the book, because I remember a chapter in the book that we are reading, ways to discipline your child. And see, and this is what Sweet Lips and I are trying to do right now. We're trying to help implement new ways to really guide it. I'm not going to say raising, because like Sweet Lips said, no one should be telling you how to raise your child, but a guide into extra help, finding new ways to do things, because these old ways are producing liars and thieves, confused children, causing them all kinds of mental problems. And the rate of these children unaliving themselves under the age of 18 is alarming. How you treat your child and how people see you treat your child, they will treat them the same. If you put your baggage in front of someone's eyes and they see it, they will talk about it. And now these children have to go to school, and their peers are talking about how they had to sleep outside. As soon as they do something wrong to somebody, the first thing they are, or you was homeless right in front of your own door. So what about that type of psychological damage that you are inflicting on your child? But we're going to change that. And that's what we are speaking. We're speaking about different ways, like I look at the parent and say, what type of parent that would do something like that? But at the same time, I'm looking at that parent like, you need help. You need help, and maybe counseling will help you. Maybe you will see things a little bit different. You know, you need to repair that relationship between you and your child. And so we will continue to bring new ways to go about things. And that is what Sweet Lips and I, we continue to preach about the village. And let me tell you something. Kudos for that village that stepped in to get those children help. And, you know, from what I can remember, what I saw, and let me tell you something, and I was happy about it because there were African American children that was going through this. And a lot of times, you know, we tend to turn a blind eye. But in this situation right here, the village stood up. The village stood up for these children, and they are no longer in the winter sleeping in front of their parents' door like there's some zoo animals, and people are stopping by, you know what I mean, to see the animals at the zoo that's on display. So I'm happy about that. And let me tell you something, because it was like, oh no, but that's why we bring you these things. That's why we choose different topics that I would say that we as a community would benefit from. So, again, be that village for these children, for the ones that have no voice, for the parents that you see need help, help them. And that village came to the rescue. And sometimes making a phone call don't make you a bad person. You could have just saved that person's life. You could have saved, you know, the mother's life or the father's life or whoever was being silenced and allowing all of this mess to happen. So when I say it takes a village to raise a child, we will continue to speak about the village. I have my opinion. Sweet Lips has his opinion. And you know what I mean? Together we're coming together to say, hey, look, there are other ways. There are other ways to parent. But first, we must take a look at ourselves. And we must process that our generational curses need to come to an end if our children really stand to have a future. Because they are our future. And if we inflict anger on them, they will go out angry. If we inflict hate on them, they will go out hateful. And that's just the way of the world. So it is so Sledge and my little brother Sweet Lips. And for those who don't say, let me tell you my little brother. You see my brother? You see Sweet Lips? Sweet Lips, can they see you?
Nope.
Hold on.
They're lifting up higher. But they can't see me at all. I can't even see me.
He's somewhere over there. Let's just put he's somewhere over there, okay? He's somewhere over there on that end over there. But it is Sweet Lips and the Sledge Show. And guess what? We love you, but you gotta go, and so do we. See you all soon.